Well, first of all, for you, it's what, evening time already?
Yeah, it's 1 p.m. now.
1 p.m. Okay, okay.
Yes.
That's nice.
What time is there for you?
4.
4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
Where are
N-
you exactly?
New York City.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna be right off the bat gonna say I'm a new fan. I discovered you guys. I've been doing like this channel where I do reviews, reactions, all these kinds of things, and somebody just kind of slipped it under my doorstep to check out Infected Rain. Here I am because
Perfect. Yes, it worked.
I want to congratulate you guys. First of all, fifth studio album, right?
Yes.
What looks like extremely positive reception from everybody. Like
Yes.
I haven't seen anybody say anybody anything bad. And after finally releasing the record, how does it feel? How does it feel? I'm sure it's been like kind of long in the making.
It's very interesting. From one side, it was, yes, it was like creating another baby. You know, we've done this before. The process is very pleasant, very healing. We love creating together every single time, so many emotions put, into it. From another perspective, it's like, I remember myself being a teenager and listening to bands that at the time had already 5 albums. Yeah. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is probably it for them. This is their like career, like pick, or like the pick of the mountain, the like, I don't know.
As good as it gets for them. They don't get better than this.
Something like that, but
Yeah.
being in those shoes now, you're like, no way, I have so much more to say. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree 100%. Yeah. There's some bands like Iron Maiden never faltered, right? Never felt. Every album creative, amazing. And if you have that energy within you, I just interviewed Tomas from Dawn of Solace, a Finnish band. This guy creates 1 album a year. He's just super creative. So everybody has their creativity to express, right?
Yes.
I'll be honest with you though, on paper, when I first read about the band, I'm like, okay, new metal, metalcore elements, some melodic death metal. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be into this. And I've been on a mission.
I totally agree. I hate when people put labels on anything. Okay. Labels are just, I don't know, overrated. We don't need labels. Like, who needs labels? We are a metal band with a lot of, I think, with a lot of shades of metal genres. Like, and there are so many bands like that. It's so difficult to like pinpoint just like, there are rare bands that are like absolutely, by the book in one genre. It's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? And I love that.
And you know what? I'm so glad that I didn't listen to my first inner, because I could be closed in the box sometimes. I'm so glad I didn't listen to that inner voice, because when I heard the album and how good it was, it made me want to start going back into the older albums. And I'm like, wow. And I have to say, I'll be honest with you, I think this is the most refined and impactful album from you guys. I love the songwriting, the guitars. I think everything was really just kind of there. And actually, what really attracted me to you guys first, what really made me click and go, is that you guys are from Moldova.
Yes.
And my brother was born in Moldova. I was born in Pyatigorsk. I'm Russian myself. I speak Russian.
Really? That's amazing. Это очень круто.
Приятно очень.
Yeah, конечно. We actually have 2 brothers that have they've been living in Russia, and I think one was born in Russia. The bass player and the guitar player, Sergey and Vladimir, they lived throughout their life in Russia a lot, but I believe only one was born there, and then I don't know, something like that. So yeah, we have we all speak Russian as well, of course.
Yeah, and you know what it is? Once I saw. It felt like Neighbors. I felt like Absolutely. Neighbors were releasing an album, and I felt like a pride and joy saying, "Oh, it's my." Because Russia in general, that Eastern European Russia, we're talking about like all like really to the east. Well, the metal scene is still growing there, you know.
You know what it is, I think, and I don't want to stop on this subject too long, because I've been living in the United States for the past 6 years, and I feel like I got disconnected a little bit, and I'm not that informed, or like I'm not that knowledgeable into what really the metal scene is in Moldova itself or in Eastern Europe. However, the older bands that were around, and I've been listening to them or even visited their shows, they, like I know some about that. I want to say that main reason why bands from Eastern Europe specifically, or from any other smaller country in the world, do not make it, or they make it to a certain level, or there's only like one that is actually out there. The reason is how little there is for alternative artists in places like that, you know, and there are zero opportunities if you're doing anything alternative, especially, you know, in Moldova. Growing up in the capital, that's where I was born, and that's where, you know, the band was born. We used to have some rock alternative clubs or bars here and there, but they would close, and nothing would survive. Because it's just a tough market. It's tough. People just, you know, it's very difficult. And so the bands they have no place to play. They have no place to start somewhere. How are they gonna go on tour and play in a different country if they can't even like do it here locally, especially, you know, like start somewhere? It's tough. It really is, you know.
I've heard that sentiment in many different countries. I speak to one guy from Israel. He's like, it's pop music here. It's like nobody wants to hear rock music. So you play maybe 2 shows in 2 clubs, and that's all you get.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I add to it. It's not just Eastern Europe. It's about any, you know, smaller or third world maybe type of country or city itself. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to say too much about it, because time changes people, time changes cities. And I've been living in the United States for the past 6 years. So I'm a little bit detached from it, specifically from Moldova.
I know what you mean. I've basically grown up here. So whenever somebody asks me about Russia, I'm like, I don't know. It's like I haven't lived there for over 25 years. How can I tell you what it's like there?
Of course, absolutely.
And also, I'm a big fan of melodic death metal and bands like Arch Enemy, which I'm sure you've heard of. But
we played together a couple of times.
If I'm honest, there's certain bands where, for me, I like Arch Enemy to this day, but certain bands kind of, sometimes you wince in and out of your library, or for some reason you don't like them, whatever happens. And I've been looking for that kind of aggressive vocal style like Angela used to have from Arch Enemy. I loved her as a vocalist. And when I heard you, I was like, oh shit, this is what I've been missing from Arch Enemy, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think you also have a very nice, clean style too. You have a very nice, clean voice. And the question kind of this surrounding all this is, Melissa Cross, you've been a student of hers. If you had to pick one of the most important things that she taught you, what would you say it was?
Oh, there are so many important things that woman taught me. I'm eternally grateful. But I think one of the most important, specifically connected to the music itself, is never to listen to myself, never to listen to the note, the music, the melody, to be the music, to be the melody, to be the note. And that's when you are truly you. Because if you try so hard to hear that note that you're trying to vocalize or like bring out, you might lose because you're trying too hard. But when you are the emotion behind that note, and you are the note itself, everything makes sense. Completely. And if any beginner, you know, vocalists are listening to this, I know this sounds like might sound like mumbo jumbo, but you will feel it when it happens. It's a body feeling, because our instrument is our body.
Yes, I 100% agree with you, because by when I'm not doing this, I'm a personal trainer, and it's the same thing. You have to be able to close your eyes and feel the movement you're doing.
Beautiful.
I'm sure it's the same with playing guitar. It's just there's a moment in time where you feel like you're part of it rather than actively in it, kind of.
Absolutely.
And by the way, also, I just want to kind of a small segue. For those who don't know who Melissa Cross is, she's a classically trained vocal coach. She kind of started teaching a lot of metal vocalists to really protect their voice, first of all, because it's how difficult
to last on tour. She definitely saved a lot of voices of metal specifically. That woman deserves a monument, to be honest, in my opinion.
I
She
agree.
is also my friend. Throughout years, we became closer and closer. She's the reason why I sound the way I sound. She's the reason why I continue being in this industry, really, because, I'm a human being. I had my moments, personal life being involved and stuff like that. It's not easy to give it all up for um, uh, one goal, whatever your goal is, not necessarily music itself, yeah, Melissa Cross definitely saved and preserved many talents.
I 100% agree. And was it a natural process for you guys, the way you kind of pulled from different elements to create the music that is Infected Rain? Was it a
Yeah,
very natural process for you?
it's super organic. It's never a struggle. It's never like, oh, we have to try to do this. It was never like that. It was always just writing and composing what comes from the heart, really. And we all listen to so much music, and I think that's the reason why our music is so diverse.
And I want to ask, because I tried to find the reason behind it. How did you get the nickname Scissorhands?
Oh yeah, that's easy. Lena Scissorhands was a nickname given to me by some of my friends at the age of 16. I finished a hairdresser school because I come from a relatively poor family, and at a very young age, I knew that I have to work. And I just found a calling into doing stuff with the hair. I always loved it. I'm an older sister, and I used to like have my sisters and my friends as guinea pigs. So that was fun. And yeah, together with high school, without ever dropping school, I also studied to be a hairdresser, and then very early. And when I finished my school and I did my exams, my friends gave me this shirt that said Lena Scissorhands. I do, of course, love Tim Burton and its movies as well. So there is a connection there as well.
The connection there, yeah. And I have to say, what I was going to say, like, add to another moment to it. But another thing I was going to ask you, what was been the kind of the proudest moment for you as a musician up to this point? Obviously up to this point, because I'm sure there's many ladders to kind of climb.
Absolutely, yeah. It's another one of those that is difficult to say, because I am proud of where we are every single day, and knowing how challenging this journey was and still is. Now we're dealing with this virus. Before we dealt with something else, and there's always something that is in your way for some reason. And in fact, we were actually celebrating the 13 years of being on stage last year, and we released a documentary in a very big show dedicated to our anniversary. And in this documentary specifically, we talk a lot about all the challenges and all the beautiful moments in our career that we cherish a lot and we are very proud of. But all in all, I'm very proud of every single one, from just not giving up when the situations were shitty and everything was working against us, to actually, being and sharing stages with some of the bands we listened growing up as teenagers. You know what I mean?
My perspective totally shifted once I did a couple of interviews, because before this, as a fan, sometimes you could be a little bit dismissive. This sucks, or this is this. You don't realize people have to work while they're making music, while they're touring, and balancing all this, how much effort is being put into music. You start appreciating and sympathizing with people just on a human level.
Absolutely. And even if you don't like it, it's totally fine. You just, all I ask for, I will never ask for anyone to lie about their opinion on my music. However, I will only ask to have the decency and not throw negativity to artists. You don't know what's behind every single album, what's behind every single moment in that musician's life. And we lose jobs, we lose friends, we lose significant others because we chose this path, and nobody really
appreciates
realize that. I mean, obviously that's our life. That's not your problem or anybody else's problem. And that's why we only ask you know, if you don't like one song, one album, or the entire band completely, just, you know, be decent about it. If you really want to share why you don't like it, be very, you know, specific about, and what are the things that you think are wrong here and stuff. We will accept everything. But people that are absolutely oblivious to everything and they just vomit negativity online, they are actually, they are very oblivious, and they don't understand that sometimes that might break an artist. And not everybody is like this, you know. Some beginner artists, I remember myself in the beginning, every single comment was impacting me and influencing me so much in the beginning. I never been a musician before Infected Rain. In fact, I used to be a hair and makeup artist for 12 years. And that was my career path, and that's what I loved doing, until music stepped into my life, and I understood that I like this even more, and I want to dedicate time to this as well. You know, so like in the beginning, I knew I'm not a professional musician, so I was taking everything so personal. And the best thing I could ever do for myself, for my mental health, was to detach and not take it personal ever, even when people, you know, shit on you for no reason.
It literally did. It did change my perspective. I choose my words a lot more wisely now, and I've realized just you have a different appreciation for music and everything that they go through. And of course, now releasing an album, I know you guys are going to be going on the North American tour with Dagobah, I think, right?
No, North American tour is a headlining tour. European tour is with Dagobah.
I was supposed to interview him yesterday. I'll get to that as well. But how do you decompress now that you maybe you have a little bit of time? Do you decompress and kind of step away? Is there anything that you like to do before you start writing music again, or before you go on tour?
It's actually nothing really specific. I just try to constantly have a routine of healthy lifestyle. And when I say healthy lifestyle, I obviously talk about certain things that I choose from myself that work best for my own body, for my own mind. And again, those things can work perfect with someone else, or they can't. Yeah, I don't know. We are all different.
All different,
people. And I just, that is what helps the most, for sure. And then when I am on tour or in the process of recording, there are certain things that I like to do during, which help me a lot as well.
Like focus in a little bit, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And what kind of bands were formative to you guys in general? Not necessarily on Infected Rain specifically, but bands that just kind of formed your psyche. You know, we all have these bands, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin for me as a kid, just Michael Jackson.
Absolutely. Those are great choices, by the way. Definitely, you know, growing up, we listened to, like me personally, I listened to specific bands, specific music, specific genre all the time. Because growing up as a teenager, you are a little bit more influenced by the rules of, are you a metalhead? You should only listen to metal, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very close-minded. Yeah.
and that's fine, you know. But then growing older and being a musician, especially, opens your mind, and you understand that there's a beauty in so many other genres. And that being said, growing up, I loved Michael Jackson. I loved Pink. I loved, you know, other bands that are in absolutely different genres. And then I was listening at the same time to Nirvana, and then later on Slipknot, Sepultura, and then, you know, stuff like that. But right now, my playlist is so diverse. People are going to be shocked if they see certain names in my playlist. And I'm very proud of it, actually, because I think that being so open-minded towards music helps being more open-minded towards my composing as well. And that might be something that people actually really love or really hate, because they really only like certain genres to stick to the rules. Whatever it is, you know, that's what helps me the most, because as a musician, as an artist, my main goal is to be able to deliver the emotion I put behind every lyric. And in order to be able to deliver, I need to have the freedom.
I 100% agree.
Thank you. I need to have the freedom to whisper, to rap, to sing, to cry, to scream, to shout. I want the freedom as an artist, and I am sure a lot of people will agree with me in whatever genre.
That's what I meant by in the beginning when I said at
Yeah.
first on paper you see one thing, but when you listen to it, it's like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
This totally kind of jives together, because I think if it comes from a creative place and it comes from a good place, it comes from like, I need to get this out. Like, this is inside of me. I need to get this out. It's good music is good music. It doesn't matter what genre, what era.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter how old, how new, what genre. I agree with you.
And I when you said Pink, I can see attitude of Pink, like that you love Pink. I can see a little bit of that in you as well.
Oh yeah, she's badass for
she's
sure.
a badass.
Yeah.
And will we ever see a song in Moldovan or no? Because it's such a beautiful language too.
It is. It's actually is a Romanian language, which is some sort of dialect of Romanian language throughout years. But you know, Moldova used to be part of Romania long ago, and we speak this Latin-based language, which is very beautiful for sure. I don't know. It's difficult for me to tell you. It's not in the plans. It's not in a project. But I cannot know what the future holds. Sometimes I get inspired and I just go for it. You know what I mean? Like people are waiting for me to sing in Russian, Italian, and all the other languages that are close to me.
It feels like it just needs to make sense. That's kind of how you're.
It has to come natural. I can't just do something that is expected of me.
That's a good way of going. I've asked somebody before on the interview. I'm like, do you like to cater to certain like things that you hear from fans? He's like, never. And I'm like, I respect that so much, because otherwise
but not
you'll
on
never.
Purpose. It's not really a goal to be like, oh, people expect me to sing in Russian. I will never sing in Russian. Or people expect me to sing in Romanian. I will never sing in Romanian. No. That's not how it works. It's just, when you do something that is extremely expected from you, it feels forced. If something comes natural, even though it was expected from you, maybe not right now, but somewhere in the past, it came natural. Or maybe someone will actually give you a brilliant idea, and even though it's expected from you and you will do it, you'll be like, I never even thought about it. It was an idea that came from a fan, or from many fans, or from a friend, maybe even. This is how I started my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel was something extremely expected from me. Extremely. All the time. For years and years and years, people insisted for me to make videos about many things, and I was just so anxious and afraid that I won't ever have enough content for it. And then finally I went for it, and it was a brilliant idea. I think it works even better than some interviews, because very often things get lost in translation, and people assume, and all of a sudden there's a rumor about you that is not even real. You know what I mean? But when you have your own outlet, your own channel of information, people know it comes from you directly.
You can gather your thoughts more cohesively and express them.
Absolutely.
And I'll make sure I link that down below for those. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I'm going to check it out as well.
It's called Bananas.
I'm definitely going to check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, check it out. I do also interview some colleagues and some friends in all kinds of art. I share a lot about Infected Rain, a lot about my own life. Check it out. It's a pretty fun channel.
And the last thing to kind of close it out, I wanted to leave the floor for you as well. If there's anything you want to tell fans or any metal listeners, because I know there's been a couple people really requesting you, like nonstop. It's like, you got to check out Infected Rain. You will like it. You will like it.
That's absolutely beautiful. And that's exactly what I would like to point out. Every single comment, every single share, every single time you just share your emotions about your favorite band, it is crucial and important for the band, because that's how you spread the word, and that's priceless. It's priceless. So I feel extremely lucky together with Infected Rain to have such a big army of fans and listeners, and just being able to touch people's souls to where they want to share that. So thank you so much for doing what you do for us.
And as you might be very well aware of, Russians will like toasts. So I'll end with a toast for you guys. I hope that this year is the best year for you guys, that this pandemic will be behind every single band. I'll put even every single band because I know how hard it's been on everybody.
Yeah.
And that this to be the most successful year for you guys. You've earned a fan. I'm a fan now for life.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you very
that.
much.
And this was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
You too.